lucky you get in this industry. And I can tell you, if you just apply the principles of what the success are doing, the successful people in this business, you're too going to be able to duplicate that. I'll start off with my Thrive experience. You know, I started in June of last year, June 23rd. Hi, Christy. Say hi to you. You doing good tonight? All right. It started June 23rd of last year, and Paul Gravett, CEO, I've good fortune of, he's one of my best friends, and we've ran together about 20 years now, and it's our third company to build together. And I remember when I got that phone call 3 years ago, and I turned him down. I said, no, I don't like startups. Let's just get this thing established and up and running. And I was running and still do, run a construction company. I'm a fifth generation contractor since 1911. My family's been in that industry, and it's what my wife and I do. And we run branches throughout Texas and Oklahoma. And it's a full-time gig. It keeps us really busy. And June 23rd, we made a commitment to start doing this part-time. And what really started as a part-time business turned into a balanced full-time business rather quickly. Last month alone, and it takes a team, to do numbers like this, but last month alone, our team closed out just shy of $2.7 million for the month. And I tell you, I don't say that kind of impressed, but more to impress upon you that this works. I'm telling you. I mean, all I did was invite my friends and family, and I said, listen, some of my sales buddies, I'm like, you've got to check this thing out. Have you ever heard of the Thrive experience? We walk them through the 3 steps. Why is this company exploding like this? I think there's some major reasons. Greg Dugan touched on it. Greg, what did you close out last month at, by the way?
Just shy of 340.
340,000 last month. Congratulations. Andrea, what did you close out last month at?
135.
135. Awesome. Monica, Leo, what did you guys close out at? 175? Wow. I mean, I just want you to hear that. See that it's not just one person. There's a whole bunch more leaders in here. But, bottom line, the reason this company is exploding like this is it is the story that has never been told in direct sales. And if you have that, what Wall Street says, that first mover advantage in a business, you have an upper hand over the marketplace. You have that hook. It's the industry's first free social network, free to join, free to become a promoter, free to become a customer, free to build your network. If you think about it, just like Facebook. Think about the first day you signed up on Facebook, what'd you do? You invited your friends and family, right? Except this network is monetized by a simple 1, 2, 3 product system called the Thrive Experience. A product system that works the first time, every time, and all the time. And it is the backbone of this company. So don't ever lose sight of that. But we have a monetized free social network. There is no direct sales company on the planet Earth that has a model like this. I want you to think about that. We have that story for the industry. And number 2, it's a very future forward thinking company, a cloud-based technology company. This is very much a technology company that meets a nutritional / weight loss / energy fitness company molded together with the free sign-up process. There's nothing like it in the industry, you guys. And the cloud technology part of this, what that has enabled and what that has done for us, I don't know if you all realize this, it's created the lowest overhead business model of any direct sales company ever launched, ever. And what that means to you is the highest commission payout, and that is no joke. I mean, you can earn money in this, and there's no guarantees of income. You will get out of this what you put into it, but the harder you work, the luckier you will get. After all, luck is laboring under correct knowledge when circumstance meets preparation. So make sure, again, you're duplicating success. So free social network, cloud technology, the DFT, the hook. Let me tell you right there, you could be in any different company, any different direct sales marketing company that's out there in the industry, and you walk down the street, and let's say, I'll brag on Herbalife, $1 billion company, global giant, right? Wouldn't we all agree? Very successful. Heck, they own a soccer team or the major sponsor, whatever, LA Galaxy. If you're walking down the street and you're on their shake, which is a fantastic product, I'm a friend of the industry. I have friends and owners and leaders in other companies. Let's say you're walking down the street and you're on their Herbalife shake. Is anybody going to walk up to you and go, man, I can just tell you're on that Herbalife stuff and you look great. Look great. No, it's not going to happen. But you wear a DFT. We were walking through the market earlier. And the lady I'm getting the popcorn from, the kettle corn, wow, that was good. She goes, what is that you're wearing? I said, oh, you've never heard of the Thrive Experience? World's first wearable nutrition? No, I haven't. Fantastic. Hey, let me get your information. I'd love to share it with you. Now, I want you to think about the power of that. Never before in the history of network marketing have you had a product that when you wear it, people are going to ask you, what is that? And has it been successful? We just broke 2 million free accounts in this company. Markets open. US, Canada, UK, European Union has been in the works since the beginning of this year. That is quite a process to open in all those countries. What's coming next? This is a global player, you guys. We're talking Asia, Pacific Rim, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan. When this thing goes global, you're going to be able to say you were here first. Right place, right time, right company, right product, right leadership, and definitely the right team. Because together everybody achieves more. And this is an awesome group. Idaho Falls, y'all are rocking, man. We say y'all, by the way. All right. Vacations. Who wouldn't like to have 3-4 paid vacations a year, right? I think back last year at this time and I rewind to April of 2014 when Paul started really, about every month he would call me. He's like, hey man, we did this. And I remember in January he called me, he goes, man, we are jamming. We did like $2 million in January. We laugh now because we're probably going to pass, well, I'll talk about that in a second. And then in April, he hit me up again. I'm still turning him down. No. That just tells you, you never know. Sometimes the timing's not right for a person, so don't ever forget that. My timing was not right. I was busy. I have my construction business. I've got a 5 and a 7-year-old and a wife. I'm busy, you know. and the timing wasn't right. But that timing corrected itself with me coming into April, and he happened to call me on the right day. And I wanted to buy some freedom because I'm 50, 60 hours a week working my construction business. So I wanted to make sure that I did that I could spend more time with my kids and my wife. And so I wanted a little bit of that freedom, even though we make pretty good living with our construction business. I've been doing it almost 30 years. I wanted something to subsidize, and there's nothing wrong with extra sources of income. Every billionaire on the planet will tell you they own multiple companies and multiple businesses. So I said, all right, what are you guys doing with sales? Oh man, we're jamming. We did like $6 million this month, and we have like 30,000 people on our Facebook page. And so yeah, those that know the numbers now know where this went. And so he's like, you know what? And I wasn't even in the business. And I think it was towards the end of May, they had their Cabo San Lucas local. Their first local. I said loco, didn't I? It was loco. The first one they had in Vegas earlier in 2014, in Las Vegas, there was 20 or 30 people that won that trip. Cabo San Lucas, and I'm pretty sure it was May. It was either May or early June of 2014. And I'm the only person who's ever been on a lifestyle vacation that actually didn't earn it. They flew me down there. We took a look at it. And I was blown away. There was 400 Thrivers that had earned that trip. And we sat in their interview in a room like this, and I'm watching the different leaders of the company sit in front of a green screen, if you've ever seen that in a video shoot, and I'm listening to their stories and what they're doing and the money they're making, and people with little or no network marketing and direct sales experience. My wife and I are looking at each other going, this is crazy. I have never seen anything like this. And then we go out to the beach, and they had an all-white party, and they private catered it, live music. They announced we were going to be on the front cover of Success Magazine, you guys. I mean, so everything started coming into place, and I'm getting chills right now talking about it. And I got chills on that beach, and I looked at Angel. I said, "This is it. This thing is going to be a monster." Now we fast forward 12 months, closing out over $30 million last month, knocking at the door of $40 million a month in sales. I'm telling you guys, you don't see companies grow like this. This is very, very rare. It is hard to get momentum. There's some 6,000 to 10,000 plus network marketing direct sales companies in the U.S. alone. What makes yours different? You have to be different. You have to have a hook. You have to have your marketing in place. You have to have the story, because facts tell, but that's fine and dandy, but stories sell. Facts tell, stories sell. So you've got to have that story. This is the story that has never been told in direct sales. And I'm telling you guys, fast forward 2, 3, 4, 5 years, where this company is going to be. By the end of this year, at this rate of growth, growing at 7,600% the last 12 months alone, we're looking at conservatively by QE 2015, at the end of this year, a $60, $70 million a month company. Going into the first quarter of 2016, second quarter of 2016, I'll predict by June of next year This company will be $100 million a month. It'll be a $1 billion player. There's only a handful on the planet that have pulled that off, and especially have done it in 3 years. Fastest growing direct sales company in all of North America. There is nothing like this. And again, the hook is the DFT. Be seen, wear it. Don't spam it out there. But bottom line, when people ask you, what are you wearing? That is, it's the industry's first wearable nutrition. There is nothing like this. There's your lead in. I was talking with somebody before the meeting, and I remember a story that I had read about a guy who a guy. His wife didn't believe in what they. Well, no, the husband didn't believe what the wife was doing as far as network marketing, right? And she listened about doing the vision board and dream board, and so she wanted a brand new Cadillac. So she put a picture of a Cadillac on her mirror, and then she learned visualization techniques. If anybody have ever read The Secret, all right, or any Stephen Covey books, or Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within, I would highly recommend that book for this industry, about putting it out there, beginning with the end in mind. But she'd begin with that end in mind and visualize herself in that Cadillac, and every night and every morning she's brushing her teeth and she's looking at herself in that Cadillac and imagining, the wind blowing in her hair with the windows down. Every morning her husband would take that picture down. Every night she'd put it back up, and this went on for 3 or 4 or 5 months. Did not believe in it whatsoever. Well, along comes the day she earned her car, and she had made enough money to go get it, so she wanted to surprise him. She pulls up in the driveway with her brand new Cadillac, 2015 Escalade, beautiful car, and the next morning when she goes to brush her teeth, there's a picture of a Rolex watch on the mirror. Sometimes you just got to throw it out there, and it does take some time. This industry's not for everybody. If it was, everybody would be doing it, right? It's not for everybody. Everybody would be doing it otherwise. But I think if you really look at what we have, and nobody up here talked money. You didn't hear anybody up here talking income, and we could do that, but we're not going to. It's about the product. It's about the Thrive experience. And don't get me wrong, the money will come along, and it's fun, all right? But the backbone of this company is that Thrive experience. How many first-time guests are here tonight and not in the business? Wow. Give them a hand. That's awesome. Wow. Very impressive. A lot of guests. We have time. We said 6 to 8. It's 7:37 right now. I like to stay on time. Greg, come back up, man. Come back up here with me real quick. How about, who'd like a little bit of training? What to do next, how to get started, how to get your business going, how to create momentum, how to follow the system, how to have mindset. You want to talk a little bit about this? Yeah. Let's bounce this back and forth. I'll start this off then. I think number one, your good companies in this industry are people dependent. The outstanding ones that duplicate at a very, very high level are systems dependent. And what we have here at Lavelle, and especially with our team, and I'm telling you, that's why we have one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing team going in the entire company right now, outpacing the growth. It's because we have a very systems dependent group. Let's cover it. It's 3 steps that we build this business with. It's step 1 is introduction. That's your approach. That's your introduction to your prospect about Lavelle. What are you going to show them? What are you going to say? Step 2 is what? Validation. That's the prove it to them phase. That's prove to your prospect this is real. Prove to them it's bigger than you. Well, how do you do that? Well, you guerrilla market off of the success of others. Make their story your story. Get some, we're going to cover that in a second. Step 3 is what? The call to action phase. That's where the rubber meets the road. You either come on, sign up as a promoter or a customer, and you make a purchase, teach the same 3 steps, repeat the process. Let's analyze that. So step 1 is your approach. What do? Do you explain the business to Joe, or do you do something else? What do? Use a video, right? You get them to your website to watch that 7-minute video that best explains this company. It's in broad strokes, but that's why we like to show that video, because it's duplicating a system. If you get a system duplicating in your group, your duplication level will go through the roof, your attrition rate will drop, and you're not going to be leaving dead bodies down the road, all right? So it's good to have these systems in place. So step 1 is your approach, have them watch the video. I like to use a technique called selling the appointment. So I set up the appointment. So I'm going to ask Big Case. I'm going to use you as an example tonight, man. How you doing, Big Case? How about them Cowboys? Isn't this in Cowboys country up here, though, is it?
Oh, yes, it is.
Is it?
Oh, yes, it is.
Who likes the Cowboys? Come on.
Oh, yes, it is.
How about them Cowboys. Now we're not going to go there, guys. How about the Seahawks? The Seahawks. See? No? Denver? The Broncos. Who doesn't love LA? Of course he's retired. But,
Boise State.
Boise State? All right. Boise State. Yeah. All right, now you got me off subject. What the heck am I talking about? So I approached Big Case on. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do two things. Number one, I'm going to sell the appointment. Big Case, I'm going to call you Case. Case, when are you going to be in front of your computer? Say 5 o'clock tonight.
There you go.
Fantastic. I'll call you at 5 o'clock. I can't wait to share with you what we're doing. Be in front of your computer. That's number one. I sell the appointment, so I set the appointment. Number two, I pre-qualify him for his time. So I'm going to ask Case, can you lock down about 20 minutes with me, 25 minutes? Perfect. Excellent. I'll call you at exactly 5 o'clock. So I grab my phone, I put him in my calendar, and you can take it to the bank at 60 seconds to 5. I like to be 1 minute early. Bam! His phone is going to ring. Number one, he's going to know if I'm treating this serious, then this must be serious. Treat it like a hobby, pay like a hobby. Treat it like a multi-million-dollar business, and trust me, it will pay you like a multi-million-dollar business. So I sell the appointment, I pre-qualify him. Why do I want to pre-qualify him for his time? Let's say I call him up at 5 o'clock. And I say, and he pops up the video and he sees it's 7 minutes. He goes, man, dude, I only got 5 minutes. I can't watch this. Now I just lost my chance with him, and maybe I can't get him back on the phone again. So set the appointment and pre-qualify for time. So step one is the video. He watches the video, 7 minutes. I either choose to stay on the phone with him, which in the beginning I'd probably recommend you do that, or I'm going to let him know, hey, I'm going to call you back in about 9 minutes. That'll give you plenty of time for it to load and watch, and I can't wait to show you a little bit more. And I touch on that. I'm going to show him more. This is just the first step. I call him up in 9 minutes. Ring, ring. He answers. Hey, pretty impressive, wasn't it? I don't ask him what he thinks. I'm not asking his opinion. I'm not asking any of that. I'm like, hey, pretty impressive, isn't it? Number one, what am I doing? I'm throwing it out there. I'm using assumptive close here. Zig Ziglar teaches on this. Use the assumptive close. I'm going to assume that Big Case here likes Big Lavelle. All right. So we're gonna step one. We've got into that. Now what are we going to do? Now it's step two. Now let me prove to Case that this thing is real. Let me prove to him it's bigger than me. It's bigger than Greg. Hey, this might be my first day. I haven't made one single dollar in this company. But what I can do is I can guerrilla market off the success of others, right? So that's what I do. So step two validation, number one, I say, hey, close that video and see that Facebook logo sitting there on my website? I want you to go ahead and click that. I'm going to show you 350,000 plus people that have liked, shared, and posted stories and pictures about their Thrive experience. This thing is real, all right? That's your number one tool that you can use. It's the number one tool that I use to prove to my prospect that it is real. Number two, three-way call. This guy's one of the best I've ever worked with for three-way calls. He's a beast on the phone. And what you like to do is get somebody on the phone that is making more money than you at this, that is more successful in it. I had that day one, and who did I get? I called my sponsor, Paul Gravett, and he was my go-to guy. So let's say I've got Case. In Case I don't know what you do for a living, so I'm going to make up some stuff here. It's all going to be good. All right, cowboy. So number one, what I'm going to do is introduce him to my upline, Paul. So I get Paul online. Paul answers the phone. Hey, Paul, do you have a quick second? Now that's my key phrase. When I say that, he goes into work mode because he knows, because we have that code phrase. He knows it's a three-way call. So I'm going to go, hey, listen, Paul, I've got Case online. Case is in the real estate business, been doing it 20 years. He just took a look at the website, watched the videos, hasn't tried the product. You see what I'm doing? I'm letting Paul know everything he's seen, not seen, tried, and not tried. So I tee it up, and I'm introducing him and say, hey, Case is a dynamo here in the real estate business in Idaho Falls, and I think he'd be great at this business. So he's just taking a look. I know he probably has a few questions. Case, I've got Paul Gravett online. Paul's a 40 million VIP. And he definitely knows this business like the back of his hand, making a whole lot more money than I am. Heck, I'm just getting started in it. And I know he'd love to share his Thrive experience with you and maybe answer a few questions you might have. Paul meet Case, Case meet Paul. So what you do is you use that technique, reverse edification, and build up both your prospects to each other, introduce them to each other, in front of each other on the phone, and then zip it, mute the phone. Paul will take it from there, because what I have just done, it's a technique called enabling. I just enabled Paul to get my prospect Case to what? Step 3. And what is step 3? The call to action. The rubber meets the road step. That's where you want to balance your approach. Do you think Case is more motivated about the product? He wants to like it, love it, then before he shares it? Or is Case ready to do the double backflip off the diving board and sign up as a promoter and start promoting this? And how I get there is I ask questions. I can tell also by things he's saying. If he's more on the product side, then I might be a little more, 60-40 on product. If he's more on the business and the money side, then I might be talking more on the technology and the business and the opportunity side, 60-40 on there. But I like to balance it a little bit because you never know which path he's going to choose. So then what we do is we bring Case on as a free promoter or a free customer. So we either enroll him as a customer or a promoter and then simply say this, in Case, let's pick a package you feel comfortable starting with right now and we'll get you going tonight. Sound like a plan?
But I don't have any money.
Bam. Wait for him to say something. Do not say a word until he talks. And if you don't have money, well then sir, you need this worse than I thought. So let me show you how you can get out of that financial hole. So if the person doesn't have at least $100 to do this, then the definition of insanity is to keep doing what you're doing and expect different results. You better shift your mindset or you'll never shift your outcome. You've got to just take that leap and go for it. And if somebody says they don't have the 100 or 200 or 400 or 800, if I put $10,000 on a table right here, said the first person to come up with $800, it's yours. I promise you that person is going to come up with $800. All right. So this is your $10,000 deal, and it's much more than that. So now what do I teach Case? I teach him what? The same 3 steps. Repeat the process. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you make your group systems dependent, and you just watch what happens. So Case, thanks for letting me use the example, man. Greg, 3-way calls, man. Talk about that a little bit, or whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. So basically, the reason 3-way calls are so important, in my opinion, I think that most people, probably in this room, that have gotten started with this, they don't have any experience in the industry, me being one of them. I wanted to know that I was going to have somebody there to show me what to do. And I think that most people, that's probably what they're worried about, because I've heard it almost on every call that I've been on. I've done one of these before, or I'm afraid I don't know how to do it, I don't know how to sell it. And that's the thing. If you run someone through that 1, 2, 3, they realize right then that they don't have to sell it. My first initial thought, like I said, he's more than capable of selling me on the business because he's had a ton of success with multiple companies. All he had to tell me was this, and that, and I would have probably done it. Just because I know him and I trust him. But because he sent me through the system and I saw how simple it was, I knew right then that this was different from any other company I've ever seen. And as soon as they said cloud-based, I bought the $800 package. I didn't try the product. I didn't even care really to try the product. I didn't think that I was going to. I knew that if people were buying it, if there was a simple system, some people would come into this. So on third-party validation calls, the first thing that I want to find out is why. Why is this person wanting the product? And most people that are in here that have been on the calls, I ask a bunch of questions. What's your main goal? If I told you that I could make this product do whatever you wanted, what do you want out of it? And they're going to tell me exactly what it is. They either want weight loss, they want to feel better, they've got joint pain, mental fog, they want to build a huge business and retire themselves from whatever job they're working, they want to bring their husband home, whatever the case is. Once you find that out, and you figure out what that person wants to do, they pretty much just told you not how to close them, but that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what people are looking for. They want to know that this thing works. They want to know that they're able to do this. And they want to know that they're going to have help. Third-party validation, and I'm going to kind of pick on Andrea for a second. I remember her first 4 days. I remember the 3-way call. I remember most of the 3-way calls. I've talked to all of you guys. And her specifically because, oh yeah, I'll do the 3-step system, I'll do third-party validation, I've got your number, I'm going to blow your phone up. I didn't hear from her for 4 days. And then she called me back and she said, and we had, who was it, Shannon that goes on the phone?
I think I talked to you one-on-one at that point though.
And she called me back 5 days later and said, this thing just isn't working, it's not for me, I'm just doing something wrong. And I said, you're doing everything wrong. You're talking way too much, way too much, and you have not,
Not Andrea. No way. No way.
and you haven't gotten me on the phone with one person. And that day, I don't remember what day it was in February, but I posted on Facebook. She called me, and this is no BS, with 10 to 15 different people. And all of them but one knew what they were getting on the phone for. Hey, how you doing? So what all's Andrea told you? Well, nothing. She just called me and said, hold on a second. Well, let me tell you about the Thrive experience. But you know what? It worked. It worked. Because she said nothing and got someone else on the phone that could explain it better. It's not because she wasn't capable of it. Maybe she wasn't capable of it at that time because she didn't know it. And that's what this is about. It's not about you not being capable. I still, to this day, third-party validation calls. I don't present this to anybody without running through the system. To this day. I have a 3-way call tomorrow I'm doing with somebody. And it's somebody that I want to bring in. And I'm going to direct them towards the video, get them to the Lavelle Facebook page, and I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Even though I've been doing this for 12 months, I want you to hear what it's doing for a friend of mine. So hold on one second. And that's how I lead into it every time. I present it the same way every time. I'm telling you, third-party validation is the number one biggest tool. I can't stress it enough. You have to do third-party validation because it works. People want to know that it's...
I gotta get this quite often, and it's stupid question.